have an interactive session. This interactive session is designed to make ourselves understand certain things that we are not familiar with and to make our viewers understand it too. Today, I would discuss about NEP 2020 with founder, director of Mind Academy, Mr. Murli Krishnan, who is also a reliability engineer by profession. Welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you, Madam Soumya, for inviting me for this show and also for selecting this very relevant topic on national education policy. I understand that this is a key topic now because just the vision document has come forward and people are discussing on it. So thank you so much for inviting me on this specific subject.
Let us watch a short video about Mind Academy. Indeed, it was a clear video to describe Mind Academy. I would also wish to hear a few words about Mind Academy and its objectives from you, sir.
Coming to Mind Academy, we started in 2019. It's almost going to be 2 years now. The basic objective of Mind Academy is to empower the people around us to live a life they love and love the life they live. Basically, we are targeting students to ensure that they move in the right direction. That is what we are aiming at. If you look at the current education system, not the new education policy, but the current education system that we have, we always say that every child is unique. Everyone is unique. But our education system, unfortunately, don't cater to that uniqueness of each child. So there is no holistic development which happens in the current education system. So what Mind Academy's objective is to ensure that the uniqueness of each child is taken into consideration. Now, if you look, there are parents and teachers pushing children to go into a specific stream, be it engineering or medicine. But there are umpteen number of other opportunities which is not tapped actually, because of which our future generation, they are very talented future generation, but unfortunately, because of not catering to this unique approach, they are not moving in the right direction. So the basic objective of Mind Academy to ensure that, every child is unique and there is a place for everyone, each and every child. So to identify that uniqueness, to identify their passion much early in their life, so that they can do justice to their life itself. So that is the basic objective why we stand for. And we have different programs like Turning Point, Pathfinder, Navigator, and all those programs specifically aimed for career direction. Like for example, if you see Turning Point is a program where we do personality assessment and tell them that this is the right career option that they should select, or these are not the right careers for them. So we give them, after this 2-day program, we give them a detailed report about their strengths, about their weaknesses, and where they should go, move forward. Now, after that, the next level is called Pathfinder. Pathfinder, what we do is we expose them to experts from that particular field, so they can interact with them and understand more about the subject. And then the third one is called Navigator. So Navigator, we help them to find the right college. So if you see all these programs, we aim at ensuring that the child live a life they love by identifying their interest, identifying their passion much early in their life. So that's all about Mind Academy. So in a nutshell, we can tell that we do empower the next generation move in the right direction by finding their passion much early in life.
Yeah, of course, like when a child lives the life, what they love, then they will lead definitely a wonderful life. And it is great to hear that empowering the younger generation is your main objective. So it would enhance the capability of every student. I feel then this would be an apt question to ask you then. As a founder of Mind Academy, what do you feel about NEP 2020, sir?
Thank you for asking this, Madam Soumya. First of all, before we move on to the discussion, let me tell you that the document that we all have, the NEP 2020, the document is, I would like to call it as a vision document. You know, they always say that devil is in the details. So when we move forward to the details, then only we really know how this policy is going to roll out. But all said and done, this vision document has got many positive things which will really ensure that our next generation move in the right direction. Like for example, it has given ample opportunities for flexibility. It has introduced the vocational training as part of the curriculum. You know, like the new structure, the current structure that we had was 10+2 curriculum, but the new one is like 5+3+3+4, which is, you know, it's like, you know, it's basically ensuring that the cognitive development of a child is taken into consideration when we draft these syllabus for them. So these are all the key aspects which really takes care of, you know, to ensure that the child, you know, he or she gets an overall development. Like for example, if you take the first pre-KG or pre-primary, if you see now, that was a totally unorganized sector. Everybody, you know, like they send children to preschools and all those things, but there is no curriculum. But if you really look, a child's brain is almost fully developed by the age of 6. So if you really look, you don't have a particular curriculum for teaching them, and it's a totally unorganized sector. So this new policy is aiming at that, to ensure that the educational system also follows the cognitive development pattern of a child, which is indeed a great thing. And if you see all the international, major developed, educationally developed countries follow this pattern. One more thing which I liked in this new policy is about, you know, they have given more emphasis on bringing the dropouts back into the mainstream. Till now, if you see, almost if the child is not studying well, and right from their parents, teachers, and even society, they consider them as good for nothing. Just because they cannot learn physics or chemistry or maths, we treat them as good for nothing, and indirectly or directly they turn out to be not so productive citizens of a country. So this educational system has given ample opportunity to bring them back into the mainstream education, which will go a long way in generating or creating a great nation, especially a country like India. So there are many key aspects which I feel will really help the next generation turn into a global citizens. Actually, that is what the vision itself is, trying to make our citizens really global. So I see that there are many aspects, helping them move in that direction. But yes, there are key challenges, and if I may point out key challenges, one is, like as I said, this is only a vision document. So now it all depends on how it is implemented, and to know that we have to wait for further details. So implementation of this policy is a key challenge, number one. And number two, it's going to be a complete overhauling process, complete reform is going to happen. And now if you look that way, and they're really aiming to create 21st century citizens. Now here comes the challenge for teachers. Now if we want to develop 21st century children, we need to have teachers of 22nd century, right? So that is a key challenge. So it all depends on how the implementation, and especially focus on ensuring that our teachers are up to date or equipped well to ensure that these children are, groomed well or nurtured well. So if those two key aspects are taken care, then I would say that I would give 100 out of 100 for this new education policy.
Sure, definitely, sir. Hope this NEP 2020 creates more flexibility to the students with more vocational training kind of. So, at present, is there any other country following similar educational policy like NEP 2020?
See, as I said, we cannot really say similar. Why? Because it's only a vision document. So what we have now in front of us is a vision document. that the major, if I say the developed countries in terms of education are countries like US, like Finland, Netherlands, UK, Singapore, Australia. So these are, Switzerland, Sweden. These are all the I would say that educationally much forward countries. And I can see there are many elements which matches, at least in this vision document, many elements which matches with those of developed countries. Like for example, as you rightly mentioned, the vocational training, making a part of this curriculum indeed is one good thing. The flexibility that they offer. So yes, there are not exactly, because to tell exactly we need to go to the details of this policy. But looking at the vision document, as I see, there are elements that can match with the internationally developed, educationally developed countries, I would say.
I think we have to be more conscious when we develop this policy into actual action, correct? So
Correct.
when we are competing with such a country, such a developed countries like Finland or any other country, uh, basically their educational policy or the infrastructure will be very strong, and they have developed it long back. But when we are going into NEP 2020 right now, can we give the standard of education what other countries give to our students?
Oh, of course, yes. That is what I was telling. Like, in India is not, it's all about implementing this policy. And some of the key aspects that I see here is, like, for example, this new policy has given, the structure itself has changed from 10+2 to 5+3 plus 3+4, which is in terms of cognitive development, which all these countries which I stated before follows. If you see the flexibility for a child to select his or her topic, that is there. The vocational element aspect has been brought into it. The flexibility part is incorporated into it. And most importantly, if you really look, when it comes to higher education, one thing that India lacked was the research aspect. So if you really look, the higher education, the new education policy has given that extra push in terms of research aspects. So these are the 4 or 5 key aspects around which this new policy revolves. And if you really look these key 4 or 5 aspects in terms of what these countries which I mentioned above, they are really aligned. They are in sync, I would say. So in that way, again, as I said, if the implementation is done rightly, and if we can generate, create teachers of that caliber, of course, we stand a good enough chance to compete with those advanced nations where education is a priority. Of course, we can move into that direction.
So our determination pushes us to win one day for sure. With that thought, I would like to state the statement as, hopefully, this NEP 2020 will be implemented by 2022 or so. So the first batch studying under NEP 2020 would come out as a complete product after 15 years of time, like 2037. So what would be the difference in their capabilities as a student coming out in the year 2022 and in the year 2037?
Okay, I was just listening to a couple of days back, there was an education conclave where our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi was mentioning this. It is moving from a state where if the current education policy about what to think, it is moving to a direction about how to think. And I recollect the famous quote of Albert Einstein where he mentions that, it's not about learning the facts. It's all about training the minds to think. So if you really ask me, when this new policy is rolled out, and by the time, as you said, when those children who come out of grade 12, I see there will be a drastic change. Again, as I said, if implemented properly, students will be able, currently, if you look, it's all about memorizing certain things, understanding the facts, and just going and writing exam, where the yardstick is same for all, even though the child is unique. They don't know how to think. They just know how to memorize, learn the thing, and just come and write the exam. But now, if you really look, the assessment, the exams, they are all going to be on the application side of what they learned. So now, when you say the application side, here comes the difference between memorization and understanding the concept. Now if the child only know how to memorize things and just go and write exam, this is going to change. This is going to change in a way that they have to understand the concept. They should know where these things has to be applied and then write exams. So in that way, definitely they are moving to a direction from, if they are currently, they know what to think, they will definitely be moving into a scenario where they know how to think. So that's going to be a major change in the coming future generation.
So hopefully the coming generation will have a stronger decision making skills also incorporated with this
Yes.
educational.
Yeah. The key aspects which are the decision making, creativity, they say discovery based, discovery based. So they will find out interest for different aspects. They'll be exposed to different things.
How knowledgeable should the teacher who teach according to NEP 2020 be? And what kind of training courses or any development classes the teacher can attend so that they can cope up with the syllabus of NEP 2020?
It's a very valid question. As I was mentioning, I had all the praises for this new policy, but my reservations are in terms of implementation, and the second is on how we train these teachers, or how we make these teachers really worthy enough to ensure that those children are really upgraded well. As I said, yes, there's a big delta where teachers have to travel. Now, as mentioned before, if we want to build citizens of 21st century, teachers have to travel to the 22nd century. They have to be teachers of 22nd century. So in that way, I see certain glimpses of things being mentioned in the policy, where they say, continuous professional development programs they have to take for 50 hours a year. So those programs are tuned in, but what are those programs and how they are going to implement it? These are all questions which we have to wait and see, because those training programs can only be rolled out once we fix the syllabus. Like, as we know, they have been giving so much of flexibility. Vocational training is going to be part of the curriculum. So once the curriculum is developed, then only the other things, what kind of training that teachers has to take will have to come. On top of it, not only in terms of syllabus, they are going to use adopt so much of technology into the education part. So that is also going to change. So it's not only, even if a teacher is going to teach physics, the way the teacher is going to teach physics is going to change. Because now, if you see the virtual reality, augmented reality, I'm sure that they'll be going to use all these things. So if you see the two aspects, what to teach and how to teach, they both are going to change. And yes, teachers has to travel that extra mile to ensure that they can bring up the children, really, prepare them well for 21st century citizens.
Sure, when we have capable teachers with the updated knowledge, it would create a great platform for all the students, I hope. At what stage the students are given opportunity to select their stream, and how capable the students will be to select the exact stream what they want, sir?
When I was going through this new policy, I think this is going to be a continuous process. Like, for example, if the current system utilizes our the grading or the exams to ensure that whether the child is pass or fail, and help them move to the next grade, instead of that, there will be so many assessments that will be taking place, and those assessments will help the child to tweak and tune in the way they want to go. So I don't think it's going to be a stream selection in the way we are doing now. Now if you see, up to 10, every child studies the same thing. Only after 10th, he or she is able to select a stream. But to me, going through the policy, I find it as if, like, this choosing his or her stream is going to be a continuous process, like at least above 6th grade. So they will be exposed to so many things. They will be allowed to experiment with so many subjects, so many vocational streams, and they'll be able to learn where they want to go. They'll be able to know what their passions are, what their interests are, and they'll be able to choose their stream along with their learning. So it's going to add a lot of value, but I don't see any particular grade after which they have to select stream, because to me, with the new policy, it's going to be a continuous process.
Of course, with this experimental learning, it creates ample of opportunities to the students to know more about various fields and select what they wanted to study actually. If the students feel the stream they chose was wrong for them at one particular point of time, maybe somewhere in between the course, then how would they rectify it further?
Okay, this question, I would like to put it in two ways. We need to look at, because for higher education, they have clearly mentioned this. For higher education above, after 12th, now the new policy is giving options like, for example, if you are joining for a 4-year degree course, after it happens many times in our engineering college, when you join, maybe after a year, you find this is not what I want to study. So in the new policy, you can have multiple exits and multiple entries. That's what the new policy say. So after a year, if you feel like I don't want to do this study, you can still exit, and they give you a certificate for the year that the hours that you spend for that course. And if you want to move to the next year, yes, you can move to the next year. And if you want to take exit after second year, you can take exit. So they give you another certificate. Similarly, after leaving, after let's say like 3 or 4 years later, you still want to continue, you can still come back and continue. Maybe if you have completed 2 years before, you can join the third year and continue the courses. So this is available there in the higher education. So in that way also, flexibility is there. So if you feel like, we have selected a wrong course, or this is not where I belong, then of course you have the option to exit, and then later if you want to join, you can still join. But coming to the school education, this whatever I mentioned now is for higher education after 12. Coming to the school portion, I think, this is not like, it's all going to, the child is going to experiment and get exposed to various things. So there is no like, losing a year, or if you feel like, so there is going to be enough flexibility within the school syllabus. So that's how it's going to be the new education policy. There is enough flexibility when you move on to the higher education.
So definitely, if a student wishes to master in 2 or 3 fields, then he can do as per his wish according to the scheme, I think.
Of course, yes. Not only student, even we elders can do many courses. There are, it's going to be a society where learning is going to be a continual process. That's how I see the new education policy.
Yeah, this would definitely lead our country to a bigger development scale. Can Mind Academy guide the students to select the stream what they wanted to choose in that particular age, and how Mind Academy works on it?
Of course, yes. We have been doing it for last 2 years. Like as I mentioned in the beginning, our program Turning Point specifically focuses on what you ask now. In Turning Point, Turning Point is a 2-day program. And what we do in Turning Point is basically we take them through different assignments. We make them do different kind of activities, and we monitor their personality through those assessments, how they perform during those assessments and assignments. There are certain questionnaires. We make them view certain videos and respond to those videos. We make them listen to certain audios and take their feedback. And all these inputs are taken in, and then we find what kind of a person he or she is. And based on the personality, because we all there are children who are so expert that they can score 100 out of 100 in all the subjects, but that doesn't mean that he or she is fit for all careers or selecting any stream. They may do well, but will they be happy getting into a particular stream, getting into a particular career? So Turning Point specifically focuses on assessing their personality and telling them what their strengths are, telling them what their weaknesses are, how to enhance their strength, how to weaken their weaknesses, and what are all the careers that they can look for, and what are all the careers that may not go well with them. So this particular program called Turning Point exactly is focusing on that aspect. So we are already doing that, but I think with the new education policies, these things will be more, till now, not only Mind Academy, there could be other, academies and associations also working on it, but this is going to get an extra push with this new education policies.
Mind Academy would play a vital role in analyzing the students and making the students feel happy when they choose the stream what they want actually.
True.
And they could study what they feel like studying actually.
True.
So when we are speaking about this turning point and Pathfinder and all those things, I would like to know about your new project, Extraordinary too, sir. A few words about it.
Sure. As I said, like turning point, since your question was specifically on stream selection, I just mentioned turning point. But in that same category, we have two more programs because the whole career selection process, we divided into three parts. One is what I said, like personality assessment, the first one with the turning point. The next one is called Pathfinder. So if you see turning point, we give them a report, which are all the best, right careers that you should go based on their personality. In Pathfinder, what we do is, like, let's say, for example, a particular child want to go into engineering. So in Pathfinder, what we do, we give them experts from the field. And when I say experts, we give them a three-dimensional view from that field. Like, for example, we give them, if it's for engineering, we give them an engineering college student, an engineering college faculty member, and a person who in real life practices engineering. So what happens, a child will get a view of all the, because a view of an engineering college student about engineering is different from that of a faculty member. His view is different from that of a person who is in real life practicing engineering in an industry or a company. Okay, so this child is able to get these, all the three views, and then come to a conclusion. So in the first level turning point, they will understand whether their personality is matching or not for this particular profession. In the second level, they are getting to know more about that profession. And then once these two levels are done, a child decides, yes, I want to do, say, for example, aeronautical engineering. So in the third level, in Navigator, what we do is we tell them which is the right college for him or her to do an aeronautical engineering. So that is how we help them move in the right direction. So all these programs are in terms of career direction. Now, coming to your specific question about extraordinary. Now, we have seen many, surveys and all, which states that more than 80% or 85% of our college pass outs are not not really equipped or not really skilled to enter into an industry directly. And there are so many surveys stating that by government, by private agencies and all. So we have a program called Campus to Corporate, and this particular program called Extraordinary fits well into that. What it does is we are helping the next generation, get in touch with those new technologies or emerging technologies. As you know, this we are in tie-up with this company called Aerobotics 7, which is owned by our drone boy of India, Mr. Ashwardhan Sala. So we are strategic partner, Mind Academy is strategic partners with Aerobotics 7. And we are trying to help the next generation, get to know more about these emerging technologies like robotics, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, drone technology, the 5G and satellite communication, all those things. And it is not only about just a textbook learning. That is why even our tagline for that program itself is wisdom beyond books, where we aim to ensure that the child knows well about what it is, theory wise, and more focused towards practical hands-on training. And I'm happy to say that it's getting good enough response from different people, right from school students up to college students, final year engineering student. And we also have some professionals also who have registered for that program. So I would say that this particular program called Extraordinary one, the student gets a chance to learn from the master himself. If I may talk about Mr. Ashwardhan Zala, he's just 18 years of old, and he's helping our Indian defense with his drones and things like that. And children are going to get a chance to learn from him about the new technology, which is indeed a great thing. And also there are many other benefits for the children if they join for this course. Like they have a wisdom group called A7 Wisdom Group, where there are experts from this particular field. And those who are registering for this program get a chance to interact with these experts, not only Mr. Ashwardhan, but there are other experts also. And also, this is a emerging technology. The new technologies are really emerging and they are very fast. So being in that zone, being in that group will help the next generation understand what are all the new things coming up, because due to even otherwise the life is going to change, the careers are going to change. But with this Corona and COVID, I think, it is going to have an extra push so that we move so fast into that emerging technologies field. So I would say that it's going to be a great program for all the children right from age 12 and above, including professionals. So that's about the program extraordinaire.
Yeah, definitely for students or even professionals who loves to learn about the emerging technology, this extraordinary would be a wonderful platform. And moreover, when it comes from the expert by himself, the drone boy of India, Mr. Harshavardhan Sala, it really adds more value to it.
True,
Uh,
true.
to know more about Extraordinaire or join Extraordinaire, the link is given in description box. Please check to it. We have discussed most of the questions related to NEP 2020. If you further have more questions, please leave your questions in our comment sections so that we would like to discuss about it in our next session. Thank you for answering all our questions very clearly and patiently, sir. It was excellent having you in our show as a guest today. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Indeed, my pleasure to be here with you, especially with the topic New Education, National Education Policy 2020, which is going to be a great, thing which really help the next generation move into a global platform. So thank you once again. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.